This is a tutorial on displaying an album using the NextGEN Gallery plugin for WordPress. So the first thing we were going to need to do is go to our albums under our gallery. So when you have it installed, you'll see gallery over here with a bunch of selections. We're going to select that album, and I'm already on that page. Sort of to give you an anatomy of this page, first you'll see any albums up here you can select. We don't actually have any albums yet, so there's nothing to select. Over here would tell you your album ID. In the center we have all the galleries that you can put into your albums, and over here will be our selection of albums which we need to add. So the first thing we need to do is create an album, and because I've messed with this a little bit, if you've done this you won't see a place to put in the new album. So make sure you click update, and that's going to refresh that page so that you can add your albums. So we're going to call one of these album 1, and we're going to hit add. Always make sure that you update afterwards, otherwise it does not always take. And in this case, again, because it's already pre-selected, I'm going to have to go back to no album selected and update so I can get that extra input area. So we're going to call this one album 2, and we're going to add that. Okay, so now because the last one I created was album 2, it's showing up over here, but we could easily go back to album 1. It refreshes and we see that it says album 1 here and album 1 there. So we're going to go ahead and edit album 1, and we have these galleries here that we can put into album 1, or we can select one of these. But we're going to stick on album 1, and we're just going to drag and drop the galleries that we want included in that album. So now that we've dragged them over there, we're going to update the page again to make sure that it took. And just to illustrate the difference, we're going to flip back and forth between album 1 and 2 so that you can see that album 2 is selected and there's nothing here. And if we go back to album 1, you will see that our galleries are there. So the next step we need to do is put a little piece of code onto a page or post to display this album. So I've already have a page set up here. I like to work in the HTML section. It really shouldn't make a difference whether you're viewing it visually or HTML, but it just makes me feel a little better that I won't have any funny symbols. So we're going to type open bracket album equals, now the next part is important, that's our ID number. So let's go back and look. I should have said we need to notate that. We'll see that the ID is 8, not your gallery numbers. That's if you only want to display galleries. Since you want to display an album, it needs to be that ID there. So in this case we have ID 8. So let's go back to our page. We're going to type in ID equals 8, comma, and there's a couple ways we can do this. We can do the display as a compact or extended. We're going to do one of each so you can see the difference. So we're going to type in compact and in bracket. It's very important, do not put any spaces in here. It all needs to be one string of text. The next one we're going to put in will be the extended. It's the same album, it just is going to display it a little bit differently. Instead of compact, we're going to put extended in bracket. Again, no spaces. We're going to save this page, and then we can go over here to the live view of the page, and you'll see in the compact version it puts a little icon for each of these, shows you how many photos are in, and it just groups them very nicely. If you go to the extended, it puts them one on each line. This would be really nice if you had a nice long description that went with each one, maybe, as opposed to the compact. So that's about it on how to install new albums.